Hi, PerspectaWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Tuesday, March 12th. A quiet morning here in the Mid-Atlantic region. High pressure is in control. It certainly is noticeably colder than it was yesterday morning at this time. Colder air moved into the region late yesterday and in the overnight hours, and we'll have a brisk day and actually colder than normal in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. However, we begin a warming trend on Wednesday as clouds will be on the increase later tomorrow, and then much milder conditions for Thursday and Friday, probably well up in the 60s by midday on Friday, just ahead of the next cold frontal system. And that cold front should bring showers, maybe even isolated thunderstorms to the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City corridor from Thursday night into the day on Friday, and then colder air moves in over the upcoming weekend. Meanwhile, the real big story weather-wise here over the next couple of days will be the major storm system that develops in the middle part of the nation. It looks like it'll have anything from heavy snow on its north and west flank to severe weather, very, very strong low-level winds on its southern and eastern sector in the warm sector. And again, there can be some severe weather not only tomorrow but today as well in the deep south, places like Texas, and we'll talk about that over the next couple of minutes. Here's the surface map as we begin the day on Tuesday. Again, cold high pressure sitting to the west of the I-95 corridor region, and as a result we have northwest winds pumping in colder than normal air for this time of the year. Yesterday we reached 50 or above in most areas, but today we'll be confined to the 40s, slightly below normal for this time of the year, and the wind will continue to be noticeable. This high moves overhead during the nighttime hours. Winds die down tonight. It's cold. It drops down into the 20s, but then a warming trend begins on Wednesday, really intensifies Thursday and Friday. Meanwhile, all the upper level energy is out over this part of the nation, and there'll be lots of snow in the southwestern mountains over the next 24 hours or so, and this eventually results in a major storm system right around this area by Wednesday afternoon, and heavy snow to its north and west, and strong, powerful, damaging winds to its south and east, maybe some severe weather as well. Well, let's first walk through the upper level forecast mass from last night's 6E GFS model, and this is at 500 millibars. And again, all the upper level energy is over the southwestern part of the nation, a vigorous upper level low, and we'll just move forward here and see that that swings to the north and east, and by tomorrow afternoon, basically a negatively tilted upper level trough. By negatively tilted, I mean the orientation of the axis is from northwest to southeast, and that promotes tremendous upward motion on its eastern side, and that will be in the region here, Oklahoma and Kansas, and very powerful winds will set up over Texas, continue to be powerful across the central plains. And again, this is the area for potential severe weather later today and tonight, and then a little bit farther to the east during the day on Wednesday. Let's keep moving forward. And that slowly grinds its way to the north and east, as has been the situation many times this winter. Low pressures pull out of the southwest and head towards the Great Lakes. That keeps the Mid-Atlantic region in the warm sector for Thursday and Friday ahead of the next cold frontal system. We'll probably climb to the 50s here in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City on Thursday, and then likely the 60s on Friday, just ahead of the next cold frontal system. Here we go by Friday morning. That wave tends to fill in, so the most intense part of the storm will be out over the central plains. It then tends to pass by its most intense phase as the upper level energy gets somewhat sheared out here, no longer seeing a kind of a confined upper level low by the time it reaches the Great Lakes. Nonetheless, we'll have some showers here in the Mid-Atlantic region on Friday, maybe even an isolated thunderstorm or two. That front passes through. Basically dry and colder weather for the upcoming weekend. Well, now let's take a look at the surface forecast maps from the 6E GFS model run. And this low pressure area over the next 24 to 36 hours or so in the middle part of the nation will absolutely be a news-making event. In fact, it could set some records in terms of record low pressures. As we'll see in a moment here, the GFS is forecasting tremendous intensification over the next 24 hours or so to very, very low pressures, and not often seen in the middle of a land mass like the United States here, with this lowest pressure reading right in this area. Let's push forward here on tropicaltidbits.com, again using the 6Z GFS model run. Here we go by the overnight hours. Low pressure pulling out of the Rockies here. Notice snow on the western side and heavy rain, maybe some strong to severe thunderstorms on the southeastern part of this developing storm system by tomorrow morning. Notice also this very tight pressure gradient right here. And there could be wind gusts, certainly hurricane force, maybe even considerably higher than that, maybe 80, 90 mile per hour wind gusts associated with this intensifying storm system on Wednesday. And here we go by Wednesday afternoon, 972 millibars. That equates to 28.70 inches. Take a look at your barometer, see how low that is. That is intense low pressure. Just look at this pressure gradient, especially on the south and eastern side of this storm system. Again, damaging wind gusts in this area here, maybe some severe weather later today in West Texas. That threat shifts to the east somewhat for Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening. Tremendous snowfall up across the Rockies and Wyoming, Colorado, and then upstate Nebraska, northwestern Nebraska, the western side of South Dakota, absolutely pummeled by very, very strong winds and heavy snowfall. And that heavy snowfall will extend up into North Dakota and the northwestern part of Minnesota. Just a tremendous news-making event on the way for the middle part of the country, all the way from the southwest U.S. really to the southern plains, the central plains, and ultimately the northern plains. Again, powerful, powerful damaging winds are quite likely with this particular system, perhaps some severe weather, and we'll have to watch for the threat of tornadoes as well. Let's keep moving forward here. Actually drops another millibar here to 971 by Wednesday evening. Tremendous snows up across the northwestern flank of this storm and tremendous winds on the southern and eastern side. Meanwhile, we're basking in milder conditions here along the eastern seaboard. Later tomorrow, clouds will certainly thicken up on Wednesday and it'll become somewhat milder, but the real mild push arrives on Thursday here in the I-95 corridor region. Notice after this point, the upper level energy that really evolves into a nice concentric upper level low starts to shear out at this time. It spreads out, it basically weakens. The storm system passes through its most intense phase and then starts to weaken, still producing some significant snow up across the northern plains into the day on Thursday. A band of showers and starts to form across the Ohio Valley down to the Gulf of Mexico associated with a cold frontal system, and that frontal system spreads some showers into the eastern states Thursday night, continuing on Friday. Again, maybe some isolated thunderstorms. This storm system considerably weaker by the time it reaches the Great Lakes and southeastern Canada compared to what it will be like later tomorrow and tomorrow night. Again, a potential news-making event, perhaps some records in terms of low pressure readings later tomorrow and tomorrow night across the heartland of the nation. After the showers pass through on Friday, we'll turn colder but dry for the upcoming weekend. So that's it for now. For PerspectaWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.